Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking out another episode of Kenny's Record Collection. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you how to figure out if you have a first pressing of one of my all-time favorite albums, the self-titled LP by the Ramones. As you can see, I have a few copies here. So I'm going to tell you how to figure out if you have a first pressing. Now, there's a lot of different ways to figure this out. There's some that are really obvious, and there's some other cool little almost hidden secrets that you may not know. So we're going to dive into it right now. So the Ramones' first album comes out in 1976. And, I think in the United States it sold okay. New York City especially. They were gaining a little notoriety at that time. They were kind of popular in Manhattan, playing some of the clubs there, CB's, Max's, Kansas City, stuff like that. So they were getting a little bit of traction, but they really hadn't done too much yet as far as touring. And, I think they went over to the UK and they started getting a little traction over there. And but the first album, upon its release, really didn't sell that well. So that's why a lot of the copies are really not out there. If you want a first pressing of the first Ramones album, you really got to search and search and search. So let's get into it right now. So this is the first pressing of the Ramones' first album. Awesome photo. I forgot the girl's name who took the photo, but I believe this was for Punk magazine originally. That was Legs McNeil's magazine. He's credited with being one of the first people to use the term punk, especially in the press. Punk magazine was more of a zine, just put out by fans of like the New York scene. So badass cover. I believe that shot was taken behind CBGB's. I don't know if that wall is still there. But if you look at the guys, they all have the leather jackets on, but Johnny's the only one with a true like MC motorcycle jacket. The rest of them have kind of regular leather jackets on. In later years, they took up to wearing all the same leather jackets. I believe they were Schott, SCHOTT leather jackets. That's a famous leather jacket manufacturer out of New York City. So looking at the cover, you gotta love it. These guys nobody looked like them at the time. They almost looked like people thought like a gang. So you see Johnny, not a lot of people caught this, but he's got his middle finger out. And rumor has it he couldn't understand how they let that go, but nobody noticed it as far as I know. So flip over to the back cover. I mean, it basically looks like the standard back cover of the first Ramones album. Everything seems to be right as far as the spellings and all that stuff. But over here is what you're going to want to look for if you're just looking at the back cover. Later pressings, like the second pressing, it's going to have a blurb that says Sire Records marketed by Warner Brothers. This pressing came out before Sire was kind of taken over. I don't know if they were taken over per se, or Warner Brothers was just working with them. And then the bottom, it just says Sire Records. I believe the later one doesn't have something down here. I don't know. We'll have to compare. So this is the second pressing, back cover. See, this is that blurb I was telling you about. It says Sire Records, marketed by Warner Brothers. It's hard to read. And then down at the bottom, there's just a Sire logo there. So let's get into the actual records themselves. This is the second pressing. You got that classic Sire logo, and it's all blue. Check out the song titles. Everything looks to be spelled correctly. There's no mistakes. And the ring on the bottom says Sire Records, marketed by Warner Brothers. So you're not going to see that on an original pressing. Put this back in its sleeve, and I'll show you the first pressing. Now this is a major difference, and this is what everybody looks for when they're looking for an original pressing of the first Ramones album. Now, look at how Blitzkrieg is spelled. Blitzkreig. So that off the bat, they made a mistake. Remember the old thing, I before E except after C. Yeah, they spelled Blitzkrieg wrong. Now look at the second track. I hope you could see this. My camera's not focusing that well. Instead of beat on the brat, it said beat is on the brat. So second mistake. So that's what you want to look for. There's also at the bottom, it says Sire Records, manufactured by ABC Records Incorporated. Not Warner Brothers. It says ABC Records. So take that all in. If you're out looking for a true first pressing, these are the elements you're going to need to find. There's also the matrix numbers, which I can tell you about. A first pressing is going to say ASAST 7520A-RE, and then depending on which pressing plant they came from, there's going to be some different numbers after. I think mine says 1X. I think mine is a Pittman pressing. And the repressing is going to say SR-16020. So now there's one other thing that I've discovered, and some people know about it, some don't. This is pretty cool. So if you have an original pressing at home, take it out and compare it. You're gonna see. So you could always find, you could always tell a first pressing of the first Ramones album, even if you were blind. Now, when I say that, the way to do it, you have to line up the records. The one in the front, this is the first pressing. The one behind it, no, I'm sorry. The one in the front is the first pressing. The one behind it is the second pressing. Now I'm going to line them up corner to corner. They're lined up. Their edges are lined up. Now, let's look at the bottom. I should do this the other way. Look at the bottom. There's some overhang there. Let me do it the other way so it'll make more sense. See the overhang? They're lined up at the top, but there's a 1/4 inch of space. The original pressing is a 1/4 inch taller than the average record sleeve. The average record sleeve is 12 1/4 by 12 1/4. For whatever reason, the first pressing is 12 1/4 wide, but 12 1/2 high. I don't know why that is, and it's not a well-known difference. But yeah, that's it. So have fun. And also, I have a Portuguese pressing, which look, it's got really no gloss to it. This is smaller than the average record sleeve. So if you put them all together, look at the difference. I'm going, look at how much space there is on the bottom. That's like a 1/2 inch. And then the second pressing would go in the middle. So I love this stuff, as you guys can see. Let me line them all up. So look, if you look at Dee Dee's foot, look at how it's extended that way. You got the Portuguese pressing, the second pressing, and then the original. So yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, oh, I didn't even show you one more thing, okay? One more thing. The inner sleeve. There's one other like major difference with the inner sleeve. So, I don't know, a lot of people may not have even seen the inner sleeve. This is the inner sleeve. Close up, I believe it was Joey's belt buckle. Pretty cool. Art direction by Arturo Vega. So he kind of like pointed these guys in the right direction. This is the second pressing inner sleeve. See down there it says SR6020. The original, it says printed in USA in a different font. But then you got SASD 7520. SASD 7520. So, you know, these are a lot of the things you could look for. I mean, finding an original pressing of the first Ramones album is very difficult, and they're not cheap anymore. I got really lucky with mine a while back. I'm always hunting. So, you know, you gotta, like they used to say, gotta be in it to win it. You gotta just get out there and search and search and search. So yeah, that wraps it up for today. If you can subscribe to my channel, that would be great. I'm getting close to 700 subscribers. So I'd appreciate just hit that subscribe thing. I'm gonna put it at the end. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me some love, give me some hate. Let me know what you think. Let me know what pressings you have. If there's any other ways you could tell a first pressing, I would love to hear about it. I'm always looking for new information and more minutia. So yeah, please, I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.